Let's go on a tour of the bustling capital of Sri Lanka, Colombo. Good morning from Colombo. People love honking here for some reason. I have just landed in Colombo International Airport, which is a little far from the city. I've had a really long flight and I'm exhausted, honestly. I'll take a couple of hours of sleep and then I'll start showing you around Colombo. It is amazing what a couple of hours of sleep does for you. So I took a tuk-tuk and I am in Pettah, which is one of the oldest areas in Colombo and also probably the busiest as well. So I'm gonna get some food and I'll show you around. There are a couple of really interesting spots here that you don't want to miss when you come to Colombo. Before we go any further, so Colombo is the capital, and I mean it's not the usual capital with a lot of frills and this and that, but it has some really interesting spots and you definitely don't want to just come and just, you know, leave for a resort because that's not gonna be fun, right? So let's start the tour of Pettah. So this is supposed to be the first stop for the day, the Dutch Museum, and it is under renovation, but it's still an interesting building. So I hope by the time you get here it will be renovated so you can visit it. Sri Lanka is actually quite diverse in terms of the religion. There's Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, all different types here, and it's perfectly fine. And they also had English as well as the Dutch colonizers, so you get a little bit of that as well. You get to see a little bit of that in their names as well, which are very complicated to pronounce and they're very long as well. So let's move on to the next stop, which is the Red Mosque in this area. Pettah is absolutely bustling with life. There's so much happening at the same time. It's a little dizzying, but it's a great chance to meet locals. And if you want, you can also buy some stuff cheap here. I am in the Jami Ul-Alfar Mosque, which is really beautiful, and it feels like really misplaced as well because it's located in a very busy market area, and you come in and it just completely changes, you know. It's a beautiful courtyard with endless red and white in all directions. Do come here with trousers and don't bring any bags with you, otherwise they won't let you in. And please be respectful because it's a mosque and people do worship here. It was built in the early 20th century, 1908, and it has been standing since. It's gorgeous. Honestly, I didn't think it would be like this. I thought it would be a small little place. I didn't expect this at all. I'm gonna spend some time here and I'll meet you at the next spot. You watch the mosque until then. So far, it's been a little overwhelming with so many people around, all the noise, all the busyness. It's a little crazy, honestly, but I'm at Galle now, which is this green area and has a little beach, narrow beach, and I'm here to see the sunset. It is also a little busy with the road right behind me, but it's not as bad as Pettah or some other areas. And there, you know, you can see right behind me, people are flying kites and, you know, like family outings and stuff. One sad thing is, you see the cranes, that's the area that's been confiscated by, I don't know, whether Chinese government or Chinese companies, because the government here took loans from them and couldn't repay them. Apparently there are also places where Sri Lankans are not allowed, including restaurants, and they're obviously not happy about it. Oh well. Let's see the sunset. Good morning from Colombo, where we were just having a really nice chat, and she's just left me. So I'm gonna go explore the city again today. My first stop for today is the crowning jewel of Colombo, the Gangaramaya Buddhist temple. It looks really interesting from outside, but it's famous for having like endless statues of Buddha, which I'm really a big fan of. Let's go check it out. It's a weekday today and there aren't that many people around, which is great because I can explore all of this big complex on my own. It's not one giant temple, rather a collection of small buildings into a complex, and the statues actually change considerably when you go from one building to the other. I think it's a good time to tell you that in Sri Lanka, whenever you are with Buddha, you should never have your back towards him, whether you're taking photos, videos. Even when you're leaving, you should basically face him and just back out rather than turning your back towards him. Please be respectful. Hit that subscribe button so I can bring you some more exciting travel destinations every week. I've noticed something interesting here. As Jesus goes along the world and he changes his features, like he's even a blonde white man in Europe, same happens with Buddha. So this is a more local version of Buddha and he looks a lot more Sri Lankan compared to if you go to Southeast and you see the statues there. So it's a very interesting thing that you get to see around the world. This is not just a temple, it's a really big collection and actually a treasure trove of beautiful statues, whether it's wood, metal, silver, gold, even ivory. Absolutely stunning. And every time you feel like, okay, I've seen quite a lot of them, more appear out of nowhere as you turn a corner. And you could spend an entire day here and not get bored looking at these. This one is my favorite, and I believe this is Lord Buddha riding a peacock. Really beautiful and very well carved, and these right behind me are the ivory ones. I mean, these are obviously before the whole trade thing happened, and these are historic, but absolutely gorgeous. So barely 2 or 3 minutes walk from the temple, you have this Seema Malakaya, which is another beautiful temple located inside the Beira lake. Now the lake is man-made and Beira comes from Portuguese, which means water. And the green you see behind me is not clean water, it's all algae and pollution, so yeah, don't think about stepping inside. Although I think you can hire some boats and go around a bit. But yeah, if you want to check out, this is another gorgeous spot not so far from the temple. I think I'll give it a miss because I need to get some food and I need to get to a hospital for that. Weird, right? I'll explain at the next stop. This is the old Dutch hospital building that has been converted into a commercial area, and there are a few nice bars and restaurants here now. Alrighty, food done. It's time to explore around. I am in Fort area, which sort of worked well with coming here because this area has all the interesting colonial buildings from the past. I'll show you a few of those now. Before we go, if you come here in the night, they also do some live music, so it's quite a lively area. I like to eat in peace and quiet, so I chose the afternoon. Let's get going, let's explore Fort. This is the clock tower This is the center point, which used to be the old central bank of Sri Lanka. And then right behind me, you get to see the new central bank of Sri Lanka, all in one street. A couple of things about Colombo. The tuk-tuk drivers are quite persistent and they will approach you no matter where you are, and especially if you're on your own. To say a firm no and move on, don't engage, and don't be rude especially, it's not nice. They're just trying to make some money. The second thing is, and this is you need to be a bit more careful with, someone will randomly approach you, like I was like 5-6 times since yesterday. They will offer to take you to a temple where it's like a special ceremony and it's the last day and blah blah blah. And obviously the temple is really far and you'll like pay a lot of price to get there for tuk-tuk and the guide, and it's a little bit of a scam. So be careful of that. Let's continue. Fort is not a very big area, and I just walked around exploring all these interesting buildings. This is the place where the legacy of colonialism is strongest. So far, there's one thing that has baffled me in Sri Lanka, especially Colombo, the level of noise. Yeah, hear that? That's a constant thing. People love honking here for some reason. I hope I get used to it fairly soon. The pyramid-like structures you see on top of the doors is the Mountain of Gods, and it was my first time seeing it, which was great. It's also my first time in a Hindu temple, and the caretaker was nice enough to show me around. He was very sweet. All in all, a perfect first visit. I came here thinking I would be seeing one Hindu temple. Instead, there are 3 here. I unfortunately cannot pronounce the name, so you will see the name here. But the facades alone are so gorgeous. Absolutely worth a visit. Let's go check them out now. After all that crazy roaming around, I am in Nuga, which is going to be my last stop in Colombo. So this is an old house which has been converted into a beautiful spot where you can just sit and enjoy some tea or some coffee or some coconut water like me. And it's a great way to actually see what old architecture was like. Let me show you around a little bit. This is all from busy Colombo. I'm taking you to Sigiriya Lion Rock next time. It is called the 8th wonder of the world. So click that link above, meet me there, and I will tell you why. This is Brown Boy Travels, and I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know some amazing destinations in your country. I would love to come. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you have an amazing day ahead. Mwah.